Hello, lads. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. I am Nick from Australia. Welcome to the Sunday football review for round 14 of the NRL. I hope you guys are doing well on this Sunday evening. It is currently 6:06 p.m. We saw two games of football this afternoon. We saw the Melbourne Storm destroy the New Zealand Warriors down there at Central Coast Stadium, 42 points to 16. And we just saw the Parramatta Eels, far too good for the West Tigers at Bankwest Stadium. And they won that game 40 points to 12. If you guys are new to the channel around here, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and make sure you guys like this video and comment your thoughts on this afternoon's games in the comment section below. But let's go back to the first game where the Melbourne Storm beat the Warriors 42 points to 16 down there at the Central Coast Stadium. And the Warriors, first 10 minutes, they were looking decent, I thought. You know, the commentators were saying that they were a bit sloppy, but I thought they were okay the first 10 minutes or so. And there was a penalty goal from Cody Nicarima. Warriors go out to a 2-0 lead early on. And then in the 15th minute, the Melbourne Storm get a penalty goal as well through Nico Hines. At that stage, it was 2-2 after 15 minutes. And then in the 24th minute, the first try of the game goes to Dean Eremaya from the Melbourne Storm on the right wing. Harry Grant went from dummy half. And then he pretty much gave it to Nico Hines. And then Remus Smith got the ball. And then Dean, I can't pronounce his last name, Iramia or whatever his name is, he scores for the Storm. Conversion successful by Nico Hines. Melbourne 8-2 up. And then the 28th minute, Brendan Smith, he pretty much just barges over from dummy half. He scores for the Storm. Melbourne 14-2 lead. And then, this is where I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant. 31st minute, Cameron Munster plays the ball and then he decides to kick Roger Tuivasa-Sheck in the back. Look, we all saw on Origin night, Munster kicking Liam Martin. He got off, nothing happened, he was all clear to play. But he kicks Roger Tuivasa-Sheck today, and there was no penalty. He was put on report though because the bunker did catch up on it. But Cameron Munster, are you serious? Kicking players again? This is the second time it's happened since Wednesday night. I mean, this is ridiculous. Cameron Munster, he's better than that. He needs to pull his head in because I thought that was disgusting and disgraceful. And I believe Cameron Munster should get a few weeks on the sideline for this. But we know what will happen. Munster will get off. He'll get no charge. He might get a fine if anything. But he'll get off. He'll be all good to play State of Origin. But it's ridiculous. But Cameron Munster gets away with that. And then in the 38th minute, I tried to Josh Adokar before half time. I don't know how he scored the try. Nico Hines put a grubber kick in, and Adokar somehow kept it in and scored. Half time, Storm 18 points to 2. And I'm thinking to myself, well, the Warriors, I don't know how they're going to be able to come back in this game. Melbourne will probably run right on them, and that's pretty much what they did in the second half. 45th minute, Jerome Hughes scores off a nice grubber kick from Harry Grant. But again, this try probably shouldn't have been allowed. Harry Grant put a grubber kick in, and then he sort of got the ball, and then it was contacted by some Warriors players. But, I mean, you can't tell me that when Harry Grant grubber kicked the ball, that the Warriors players' intention was to rip the ball out. So, Jerome Hughes' try, I don't think it should have been a try, but he gets a try anyway. It should have been a no try. But anyway, Storm, 24 points to 2. The game's over at this stage. And then I tried it in the 57th minute to Justin Olam. Storm lead 30 points to 2. And then 62nd minute, Cameron Marlowe scores in the corner. Storm 30 points to 6. Harry Grant scores. Hines converts. Storm 36 to 6. And Tom Eisenhuth scores in the 74th minute. Storm 42-6 up. And then Marlowe scores in the 78th minute. And then Marlowe scores again. And Marlowe collects a hat-trick in his final game. And at full time, the Melbourne Storm win 42 points to 16 down there at Central Coast Stadium. Look, the Warriors showed some good signs there late in the game, but not good enough. It was good to see Adam Fanua-Blake make his return from injury for the New Zealand Warriors. Now, he didn't have, the best game, obviously, still getting back from injury, but he'll be better for the run. But the Warriors, You know, Chanel Harris-Tavita's out for the year, most likely now, with a torn pec, which is just a huge loss for the Warriors. So I feel sorry for Chanel Harris-Tavita, but we'll go through some of the good players in this game. For the Storm, you know, Jerome Hughes was great at halfback. I thought he had a great game. I thought Olam was great. Brandon Smith and Harry Grant were outstanding. I thought Dale Finucane had a great game. I thought Tom Eisenhuth was good. I thought Aaron Penne had a great game as well for Melbourne. Addo Carr was terrific. You know, Melbourne, Kamikamifa had a fair game as well. As for the Warriors, hard to really say who played well for them because I got blown off the park. But, you know, I thought Ken Mamalo had a really good game. He had a great game, actually, Mamalo. Thought Ben Murdoch-Masila tried very hard out there, but didn't really get the minutes that he wanted. He should have. If you're going to play Ben Murdoch-Masila in the starting side, he needs to be in the second row. Don't put him in the front row. It's just not going to work. Who else for the Warriors? You know, I thought Fanil Blake tried hard, but, you know, just wasn't the right day for the Warriors. Ewan Aiken had a pretty good game as well, but the Melbourne Storm, far too good for the Warriors this afternoon. My top 3 players on ground, though, I'm going to go number 3, Ken Mamalo. Number 2, I'm going to go with Jerome Hughes. And number 1, my man of the match, I'm going to go with Brandon Smith. I thought he was terrific, and he gets my man of the match in the Warriors versus the Storm game. Now let's go on to the next game that we just saw. If you want to call it a game, man, Parramatta, they destroyed the West Tigers this afternoon at Bankwest Stadium. It wasn't pretty. It was a good first half, though, but Parramatta just a little bit too good. And we'll go through the game. In the 13th minute, the first try of the game to Clint Gutherson. And the Eels looked good early on. A good start for the Eels. They go into a 6-0 lead after that. And then about 4 minutes later, in the 17th minute, a penalty goal to the Eels through Mitchell Moses. They go into an 8-0 lead. And then in the 30th minute, Joey Lussick scores his first try for the Parramatta Eels. It was a great try from Dummy Harvard. He did really well there. Joey Lussick, good to see. Eels 14-0 after half an hour. I'm sitting there going, well, it's going to be like the first game. It's going to be like the Melbourne game. It's going to be a bloodbath. But then the Tigers actually showed some bloody heart. Right before half time, a try to Jacob Little. It was actually a good try. Like Lewis sort of ran crossfield. Then he went to Brooks. Then he went to Little. It was actually a really good try. Half time, Parramatta lead 14 points to 6. I thought the Tigers, they did well to be in the game. I thought Parramatta could have been up by about 20 at half time. They were in complete control of the game. You know, Parramatta were looking really good in that first half. Tigers did well to, you know, to be in reach of that game. And then in the second half, Sean Bloor, professional foul on Joey Lussick. Personally, I thought it was a pretty tough call. I don't think there was much in it. You know, it was a touch. It was barely anything in it. So, you know, no professional. It was a professional foul. Sean Bloor goes for 10 in the bin. Tough call in my opinion. And then in the 45th minute, Wagga Blake scores off a Dane Laurie knock-on off a bomb. Moses converts it. Eels 20 points to 6. And then Mitchell Moses in the 48th minute, brilliant try here. He puts the dummy on Billy Walters. He runs 70 metres to score. He outruns Dane Laurie. He scores in that left-hand side for the Eels. It was pretty much the same try he did when Bankwest Stadium was opened up the first game when the Eels beat the Tigers 50 points to 6. It was pretty much the identical try. So great try to Mitchell Moses there. Eels 26-6 up, and then Sebo scores in the 49th minute. Eels go out to a 32-6 lead. And then this is where I just absolutely lost it on Instagram. If you haven't checked out my Instagram story, go check it out. Micah Sebo goes to the sin bin for a high tackle at Adam Dewey. Look, both players were in awkward positions. Both were very off balance there. Sebo hits him in the face. He goes for 10 in the bin. Honestly, I said it last night in the Kobe Hetherington send-off in the Raiders-Broncos game. There is no consistency with these hits to the head, sin bins, send-offs, not a penalty, not a sin bin. There's no consistency with it. They got to get it right because it's turning fans, it's turning people on going to the games, and it's really frustrating everyone out there. So I thought it was a really, really tough call on Sebo. Shouldn't have been a sin bin for mine. Tough call against him. And then after that, the West Tigers started to play some decent footy. A try to James Roberts in the 61st minute. Eels still led the game. 32 points to 12 though. And then in the 68th minute, Gutherson collects his double. Eels 38-12 up. And then Isaiah Papali'i goes to the sin bin as well. Now, this call was actually the right call. He kneed Luciani Leilua right in the head. It was so stupid. I don't know why he did it. It was uncalled for. I think Isaiah Papali'i will be looking at some time on the sideline. He goes for 10 in the bin. And then at the end of the game, Moses kicks a penalty goal. And the Eels, they get the win over the West Tigers, 40 points to 12 down there at Bankwest Stadium. Now, we'll go through some of the great plays for the Eels this afternoon. Start off with Clint Goverson. He was absolutely outstanding. 2 tries this afternoon. He had a great game. I thought Sevo was great. I thought Walker Blake was dynamite as well. I thought Mitchell Moses had a really great game today. Campbell Gillard was great. Papali'i was strong. Madison and Brown were good as well. I thought Murata Niokore had a fair game. Sean Lane off the bench. Great as always. As for the West Tigers, though, they had a couple of players who tried real hard today. I thought Tommy Talau had a good game. I thought Luke Brooks played well. I thought he actually went all right, Luke Brooks. Alex Twom and Luciani Leilua played pretty solid. And, I thought Alex Seifer played really well from off the bench for the Tigers. But Parramatta, man, far too good for the West Tigers down there at Bankwest Stadium this afternoon. My top 3 players on ground for the Eels versus Tigers game. I'm going to go number 3. I'm going to go with Wagga Blake. Number 2, I'm going to go with Mitchell Moses. And number 1, my man of the match, Clint Goverson. He was great as well. Also, I want to quick mention Joey Lussick played dummy half. I thought he had a really good game as well. But top 3 on ground. Number 3, who did I say? Wagga Blake. Number 2, Mitch Moses. Number 1, Clint Goverson. Guys, that's it for the Sunday Football Review. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you guys go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.